People have kids like chickens here and there. They have so many children.
How many siblings do you have?
I have seven.
That's
Wait,
considered average?
depends on who you ask. My mom's dad had about 33 children.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like you said a lot, and I'm like, okay, yeah, seven sounds like a lot. 33.
So, and a lot of wives.
I can't imagine one woman having 33 children.
No, no, no. So my mom's mom had 8 kids,
Okay.
and the other wives had the rest. I think my dad's great grandfather had over 50 children with a lot of wives. The African thing, the richer a man is, the more kids he has.
Okay. I thought it was like a Fela Kuti thing because he's like famous and like because I know Fela Kuti had like 30 something kids, right?
I think he had more than that. I mean, those are the ones that you know of. They're always more than. They don't count. I mean, someone could just walk in the house and be like, "Hey, I'm this guy's child. Where are you coming from? We haven't met you before." Like, I mean, I look like him, and they always look like their fathers. I don't know why it happens that way. My mom's dad was a wealthy fisherman. He had businesses all around. So my grandmom, she was like a present from a friend. A friend of his traveled in from the East End. They're like, "Oh, you're a good guy. Here's my daughter, marry her." And she was like a gift. So I don't really know much about her. So I got my complexion from her because every other person is dark and she's the only really fair person. Her genes just came down and we don't even know where she's from.
He already had other wives at that point.
Of course, she was just a present.
Okay. Does that depend on the tribe?
As far as I know, I think every Nigerian tribe has those. It's the rich guy thing. It's a rich man thing.
It's really common though.
It's very common, although now they're trying to make it seem less common. I mean, we have a guy who's married to one wife and then he has kids with other women. It's pretty much still polygamy, just not married to them.
How do you feel about it?
I don't like it. It is what it is. These things happen. While I am more or less pro abortion, a lot of people aren't. So you can't blame them for keeping kids. Everybody sees the kid as a blessing. So you never know what this child's future is going to hold. I think where I'm totally against it is where there's no money. And they do that a lot here. They have so many kids where there's no money. I have this cousin who's in her early 30s. And, this lady has like 9 children. They don't even have a proper house. She just kept on having children and having children. They don't have money. They don't have a proper roof over their heads. The kids don't have good clothes. And all they do is just have children. By the time her daughter's 12, she's already pregnant. To me, that's where it gets wrong. I think it happens especially where I'm from. It's a very common thing down south. Just have kids and throw them into the world and.
And why is it more common in the South?
Honestly, I have no idea why it's more common in the South. In the North, they also have a plethora of children, but I think there they have some kind of care, I guess.
But what's the motivation for having so many kids? Just spreading DNA, or is it?
I don't know. Boredom.
Boredom.
Mostly boredom. They don't know what else to do, so no, they just keep having kids. My cousin, she wanted a male child, so she has like 8 females and finally got her male. They still do that here. The male gender is seen as superior most times.
When I was in China, the idea was basically that kids are a lottery ticket. If you have one that's successful, then everything works out for the whole family. I mean, it's not that situation for everyone. The older generation basically feels like they want to have enough kids where one can be successful and then take care of the parent. If your siblings are successful, you have a lot of pressure taken off. If they're not, then you have a lot of pressure put on. The younger generation now, they're basically feeling like it costs too much money to raise a kid where it's not even worth that kind of investment as the older generation. And also, I think younger people have this idea that like everyone kind of owns themselves and their parents don't own them. It's definitely changing. But in America and Japan, it's just the opposite. For my parents' generation, if they worked hard and they did their thing, then everything worked out well for them. So they realized like, oh, it's not worth having more than 2 kids. If I have more, it's going to be a pain in the ass. And I don't think 33 was ever a thing.
No, that was the sign of wealth. He's a rich guy.
Do you think that most men in Nigeria want to have that many kids?
Right now, no. Right now, there's a large sense of responsibility and things aren't as cheap as they used to be.